Today on the show, Apple Vision Pro has been released and hipsters across the country are out there on the streets embarrassing us all.
And hey, did you hear it's an election year? So here's my question. Would you give up your right to vote if it meant the quality of your leadership improved? Highly contentious issue, and we are going to discuss your thoughts and ours.
I have a theory about AI and how it might shift the broader interests of man to something good.
All that and more on episode 39 of the Blimey Cow Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blimey Cow Podcast. Every Friday, we make the world a little less messy. My name is Josh.
And I'm Jordan. We don't even try anymore, Josh. Normally you say we try to make the world a little less messy.
Oh,
but
it's
you just
done.
said we just make it a little
It's
less messy.
a done deal. If you want a free Blimey Cow t-shirt, then head over to supportblimeycow.com. We just switched away from Patreon and onto our own website for crowdfunding, but it's more than financial support for us. It's an online community for you, and we've got over 250 members already. If you join today, you get a free Blimey Cow shirt as our way of saying thank you. You also get an exclusive segment of the podcast just for our supporters, so head over to supportblimeycow.com.
And don't forget to check out the Clips channel, everything you love about the podcast without the time commitment. Help us get to 900 subscribers. We're so very close. youtube.com/@BlimeyCowClips.
Finally, check out our online homeschooling community, homeschoolwithus.com. For $3 a month, you too can homeschool with us. At Homeschool With Us, you'll find love, support, and encouragement on the homeschooling journey. So head over to homeschoolwithus.com to join the best homeschooling community on the internet.
Let's get to the top stories. Josh, your top story is so terrifying. It's what shut the world down.
Jordan, after all these years and after trying to be so safe and take so many precautions.
So many.
We finally all got COVID in my house. Can you believe it? No. I did so well.
Man, it's just, people used to be, they used to not want to tell their friends when they got COVID because they were like, they're going to think that I was out and being irresponsible. Oh my God.
I was happy to share it because I beat it in a day. One day I beat COVID.
Josh was so proud.
Normally when I get sick, I get throat first, and then it goes to my head. But COVID was different. It was the opposite. It was in my head first, and then it went to my throat. I did notice, like, my taste went a little bit, but I think it was mostly me just, like...
Scared that you were going to lose
because everybody I've heard, like, and you too have said, no, you know it. You know when it's gone. And
yeah.
I never had that feeling, but anyways.
Man, I don't even know. Like, the strains now are probably so mild. Like,
yeah.
Because we got like the first strain of that, which was really bad.
Yeah. It knocked us all out, kind of dominoed one by one. I was the last one to fall, thankfully, because I was able to take care of everybody else.
Yeah.
But we had to actually take Shiloh to the walk-in clinic, and that's how we found out it was COVID, because they tested him for different things and stuff.
You can't just get those COVID tests at Kroger anymore.
They don't sell them at Kroger anymore?
They were giving them away. They were trying to get them out. At some point.
I knew, yeah, exactly. I knew that the hysteria was almost over when I saw at Kroger or somewhere that they were on the clearance rack, and I was like, okay, we're almost through this now. We're almost through this now.
What a freaking nightmare.
Anyways, we're all feeling better now. No long COVID to speak of.
Good. That's amazing.
Okay? We're all back at it. Hooray.
My top story is we have our little New Year's resolutions, Josh. And mine was...
What was yours?
Well, mine was to finish the downstairs basement.
That's right.
And we got Eddie, my neighbor, to go over to Home Depot with me and help me get all of the drywall that I'm going to need, which is very heavy because it's not so bad taking one at a time. I mean, it's still heavy.
Yeah.
And they're so unwieldy. They're just huge. But they're connected in twos. So it's like almost impossible to drag that out without breaking it. So he helped me get all those on. And I realized I actually need a lot more. The math was weird. When I put them all in, Eddie was like, "Are you sure you only need 17?" or 18? And I was like, that's what we wrote down. I don't know. Because he had come over to like help me out with like what I need to get. But we forgot to account for the ceiling.
Oh.
Which we have to drywall between them, because we want the beams to be showing still. So I'm going to have to go get more of that. But I posted on Instagram a poll to see who thought what it cost. I took a picture of all the stuff and I said, was it $750, $500, $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000? And like almost everybody said $1,500 and $2,000. It cost $1,000.
Oh, man.
It was 100 2x4s.
Wow.
2 buckets of drywall mud. Yeah, we did get a lot of stuff. 17 sheets of drywall.
Yeah.
And then we even got a bunch of insulation, and that was $1,000.
Okay, so these were the main costs for the thing that you're working on.
I'm probably going to end up, outside of buying doors for closets, which is going to be expensive, but that will probably be another $1,000.
Oh my
goodness. To buy doors, because we have 6 doors to buy, because it's a big closet, and then I think that wiring is expensive, and I have some left over. I'm going to use that, but I'm probably going to buy that. It's probably overall probably going to cost another $1,500 maybe.
Oh my goodness! But you know what I always say: any sort of money you spend improving your house is money you'll get back one day. So
yeah. And this really, really is improving the value of the house.
Oh,
It might make the house go up $100,000.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much that.
Yeah,
I
that
have
downstairs
no idea.
is like kind of just unfinished.
Yeah,
It's been that way.
It's finished.
Yeah.
But to have a whole other living room would be a real wow factor to people.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff, like the doghouse that I do, it's like, am I going to get anything off of that? No. Probably not.
That's something that will make you never want to sell your house.
Exactly.
It's like, I built a hole in the ground here. I'm not selling this place.
Yeah.
Have you taken lots of before pictures of what it looks like down there now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went through and like sat at every angle and took pictures
good.
of it.
Good. That's going to be great when it's done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited to see that.
It's going to be cool.
All right. Very good. Well, Christian meme review, you ready for this?
Yes.
All right.
Steven Tyler looks like the mom in church who calls me hun is a little too handsy and offers me essential oils. That's so true. That's what I was thinking.
Sorry to mom for saying such blasphemy.
Oh, mom's gonna be mad? Because Steven Tyler, of course.
Steven Tyler.
Well, when it all comes out, she's not going to.
God is real.
This trend of having the music be like is pretty funny.
All right, here's Jordan's memes.
I've had a tendency to do that in the past, so they've definitely warned me before. I think that it's got to be smarter, especially in that situation. I've had a tendency to do that in the past, so they've definitely warned me before. I think that it's got to be smarter, especially in that situation.
Especially in that situation. That's a good one. Vacation is for relaxing me. Walking 20 hours a day to see every quarter of the city. Yeah. That's what I always tell people when I was a travel agent planning their Disney trips. I was like, you need rest days. You're going to walk more on this vacation than you've ever walked not on vacation.
Life.
Yeah. Really is. I mean, 20 miles 20. Well, that says 20 hours a day, but 20 miles
you could
a day
walk.
is not.
It's not. Yeah, out of the question.
Think about it. If you can walk like 3 miles a day. I mean, an hour. 3 miles an hour. Okay.
If you walk at 3 miles. Okay.
So if you walked for 6 hours, that's 18 miles you've walked.
And that's only 6 hours.
And that's only 6 hours. Okay. You still got like.
You've been on your feet because you're in line.
10 more. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just being on your feet for most likely 18 hours.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to miss anything. I mean, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of balancing.
We got a very interesting message this
do
week.
we?
You ready for this?
Yeah. Dear Josh and Jordan, thank you for helping me. Well, we haven't yet, but I recently found out that I was conceived through my mother's affair. I have always loved my mom and dad so much, but after hearing this, I was very shaken up. I have only met my biological father a few times when I was very young and don't know much about him. In fact, I don't think of him as a father. So she thought that her dad was her not real dad? this whole time, and now she's like, wait, no, actually that man you met a long time ago, that was your dad.
Yeah.
Wow. I am 16 and I've been looking at college. I have always stressed about paying for college, and my parents always say they will help, but I don't want them to feel like they have to. When we don't have a lot of money, period. I have been thinking about contacting my biological father and asking him to pay for my college tuition because he has never done anything for me. I feel as if I am owed at least this. Am I a bad person for thinking this? This took a turn that I just wasn't expecting.
I think maybe there's some anger here, and it's like, well, give me some money. That's how.
This feels like ransom or something.
That's how I'm lashing out. Look, she could lash out in other worse ways, I suppose. She's just asking for some money.
This is a weird one, Josh. I don't even know it. I'm just so floored by the twist at the end. I thought this was going to be how do I forgive my dad? How do I contact him? Instead, it's I want his money to go to school. That's just weird. Like I understand the angst and the anger, but that's not directed properly. You've missed the mark.
That's what I'm saying. She just has some anger, and she's trying to figure out where to put it.
Here.
Think about this. Like, if she met this guy before, this must have been a family friend or something that the mom had an affair with. How could the man not want to be in your life, even if it wasn't a affair? I mean, you got a 16-year-old girl who's like thrown the ultimate loop of like, hey, dad is not biological dad. It's actually Jim.
Yeah,
from The Office.
Who you met 12 years ago.
You ever wonder why Jim just stopped coming around suddenly?
That was why.
Because Daddy found out about Jim.
You know, some situations it's hard to even give advice. You just have to say, this is a sad situation. I don't really know how to help, but your anger is directed in the wrong location.
I think that's what she needs to hear.
Just don't worry about the money. That's not gonna help anybody.
College isn't gonna fix your problems. Maybe a trade school.
What trade should she go into, Josh? Welding?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Welding. That's a nice way to, because you have to be very disciplined in how you interact with those tools. And she needs some discipline in how she's interacting.
Okay.
Look, I know we're being a little bit glib here.
Facetious is what the word is.
Yeah, this is clearly a serious issue. But I think that the thing we said at the very beginning is the best thing, and that's you're angry and you don't know what to do with your anger, and that makes sense. That 100% makes sense.
Yeah.
I would try to have a relationship with your dad, but also you shouldn't have to be the one to
initiate that, obviously, but that's the world that we live in. So you're gonna have to be the bigger person, I suppose. But
once again, a story where the kid has to be the parent.
Yeah, these just keep rolling in. This is just a common tale, Josh,
and it's gonna get more common. It's gonna get more common.
I'm sorry about this. This is a real downer one to me. But there is hope, Josh. There's always hope, especially at the end of the podcast where we have It Gave Me Hope.
That's true.
It might give her hope.
I hope so. All right. Crazy clips?
Yes. This is a long-ish. It takes a little while to get there, Josh. But when this is going over this, look at what's on top of the Great Pyramid here. Aren't you seeing like pictures and stuff? There's writing on top of it.
Oh, wow.
There's writing on that. You've never heard of that?
Never heard of that?
No. There's writing on top of that. That's very strange. I wonder what the language is.
I wonder how Wi-Fi transcribes things.
Yeah.
Onto stone.
No, the Egyptians probably crawled up that and they're like writing like, I love Jim Hearts Susan. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff.
Jim's not even married to Susan. Then they have a child.
Yeah, I know. That's where it's coming full circle. Here is my new rabbit.
Hey, pessoal. Será que esse é o maior?
What?
It's a Flemish rabbit.
O que você acha?
Holy cow.
I tried to tell you about this thing.
That looks like it's a toy, except for it's moving. Dude,
I think that's like a prize-winning one. So if I got a Flemish rabbit, I don't think that it would be this big.
That thing could drop kick you in the face and murder you.
Yeah, it's really dangerous, actually, I would say, if it's not well-mannered, Josh, but it probably is.
Yeah, the bunnies need to be well-mannered.
They do.
Divers discover giant doomsday fish off the coast of Taiwan.
Look how big this thing is. Look, it's been hit by something at some point. It's iridescent. It's like reflecting.
Yeah. It's like a defense mechanism.
Look at that.
Oh, what in the world? Dude, that's crazy. All right, you brought the heat.
I only had 3, but I thought they were good ones.
You brought the heat. All right. Let's move on to question of the week. This is going to be controversial.
Last week we asked Josh asked this amazing question. Would you give up your right to vote if it meant the quality of your leadership actually improved for once in your little miserable life? What was the poll, Josh?
Oh, I was surprised. Look at this. 66% said no, they wouldn't give up their right to vote. 34% said they would.
It's getting grim out there.
I thought this was going to be like 95-5 or something. I really, that is surprising to me. But I think that, and I hope that it means that people really understood the spirit of the question, which was truly like in an ideal hypothetical world where you knew if I give up my right to vote, things will improve. Would you make that sacrifice so that things improved? Because if the whole point of voting is so that things improve, well, then you could just say a non-vote becomes your vote.
Yeah,
that's how I would view it.
Yeah,
and I would because I think it's. Oh, please don't make fun of me in the comments if I'm wrong about this, but I think it's Puerto Rico, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't Puerto Rico a part of the U.S.? It's like one of our territories or something.
Probably.
It maybe it's not Puerto Rico. Maybe it's somewhere else, but I think it's Puerto Rico. But in Puerto Rico or someplace like it, you can go there as an American citizen, live there, but you don't have a vote. But since you are a territory of the U.S., you still get those benefits or whatever, but you don't pay taxes. So you can't vote, but you don't pay taxes. So maybe that would have been a better question to ask. Like, would you give up your right to vote if it meant you didn't have to pay taxes? And I 1,000% would do that. Because I don't feel represented when I vote. I don't nobody. I've never felt represented. Even in the people when I was growing up, that I thought, oh, I'm so glad this person's the president. Now I realize, oh no, you were a terrible president too. Yeah, I was not being represented. I was manipulated into thinking I was being represented, but I wasn't being represented. This
was almost a 50-50 split in the grand scheme.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
What do you think about this?
This gives me hope. It does, Josh. People are awake. Look, this is a little bit depressing, but it means that people are realizing the seriousness of the situation. That they're like, you know what?
The present age.
I think I would give it up.
Well, I saw several people comment and say this is what happened to Rome. And a fair point. A fair point.
Yeah. They gave up their right to vote.
Basically, you get like you say, let's give one guy the power.
How they do how they span out over the course of 200 years.
Then Rome fell.
How many years did it take? That's all I need to know.
I don't know. I need to read the Rise and Fall of the Roman Empire. Yeah. I actually do need to read that book.
Just get that on audio
it's like a massive.
So yeah.
I hope it. If I knew that it was it wasn't like super dry, I would love to. Anyways,
it probably is dry, but it's probably good in some sections, like most things. Interesting question, Josh. Very good. Our question this week, we just came up with it. We didn't know what it was at the beginning of the episode, but we did come up with one. If you only had one type of hug for every situation.
You could only have one hug in your whole life.
One type of hug for every situation in your life.
Yes.
Would you rather have a full frontal hug, a normal hug, or a side hug, which is also a normal hug, but a little more distant?
The hug you have to share with everybody who you hug.
Yes.
Randoms, personal friends, family members, okay? Is it more awkward to share a side hug with your family or more awkward to share a full frontal with the randos? That's what you have to decide here.
Well, and you can avoid hugging those people in those situations. So, it is an interesting question that we came up with. So we will run a poll, and hopefully it's a 50-50 split again.
Okay.
I think it'll be guys full frontal, girl side. 50-50. That's what I think it is.
We both have deep thoughts this week, Jordan. You ready for this? Jordan, why is the film Titanic so beloved? Why do you think it's so beloved?
I don't know. I mean, I just watched it recently for
Yeah?
the first time. And it was good. I mean, I think everybody thinks, what would I have done on that boat if it had sank? And it's just an interesting thing to watch. That's personally why I think. And the actors, I feel like, are good and everything. That's my theory. But what's your theory, Josh?
Well, I agree with you, and that's what I used to think. But it dawned on me the other day why, on a subconscious level, Titanic has stood the test of time. It came out in 1997, right at the end of like the glorious 90s. And it basically prophesied what was going to happen. So you had this era of decadence and things were good. But below the surface, there was an iceberg incoming. And so for people that are our age, you watch the first half of that movie and it feels very 90s.
yeah.
And then the second half of that movie is like what movies became after the 90s. And all of the kind of the terrorism and everything that followed in the 2000s. So you have half of a movie that is this reminder of, oh man, the 90s were just so sweet and innocent and fun. That's how I remember it. So flowery, so great. But then the second half of the movie is like this nightmare, and that's what people feel like they've lived through since the 90s ended. Since 9/11 and all the wars and everything that followed.
Yeah.
And so that's what I think is on
That's a
some
great
level.
theory.
Yeah, that's why. And it's perfect because it's a 3-hour movie. One half of it is one movie, one half of it is another movie. And for people our age, we have one half of our life that was one way, and it feels like a second half of our life was a second way. And that's not entirely actually true, but for people our age, that's how it feels. And so that's why a movie as kind of corny and cheesy as the Titanic has stood the test of time, whether you realize it or not.
Wow, Josh, that's a great clip.
Thank you. It is. I agree. What have you got?
Yeah, so I had this epiphany. I was talking to my friend, and we were talking about AI. He's living in New York City, and he's freaked out by this.
Okay.
And so am I, quite frankly, Josh. But I was thinking, after we got off the phone, I thought, you know what? I'm seeing all these pictures that AI has created, and they're very nice pictures. Like they're like high-end art. And it's amazing and it's sad. And I was thinking, what if AI is actually a good thing in some sense, because it's going to make art, and I don't really have a better word other than this, but it makes art less sexy.
Okay.
People will want to do art less. And you know how it's like the liberal arts is so freakishly popular. We've really swung that far. Well, AI is going to be like, okay, well, we can't beat AI. We can just use AI to make anything. Like, okay, what's the point then of doing that? And so I think naturally, people aren't going to think about this, but naturally it's just going to swing into people being more interested in objective truth and things that can't be created or destroyed by AI. Logic.
Things you build with your hands.
Right. And then the trades will come back in. Math and science and engineering will be way more popular than art and music, because AI has dominated that. So it'll make people smarter, but then AI will just take over, and then it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it's like what are the ways in which AI will change our lives in ways that we can't know yet? And in 20 years we'll look back and be like, oh, we had no idea what doors it was going to open up, because I know that with any sort of big cultural or innovation or cultural change or whatever, that there's always this kind of like fear mongering. But I think it's justified to some degree with all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially just how headlong, how quickly it's just sort of, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of bumps along the road, bumps along the way. But I like trying to come up with optimistic views for this because I don't think it will be all bad. And this could very well be true.
I had this great meme I saw pop up the other day, and I thought this is the most this is obviously not true, maybe, but it rings very, very true to me. Circle of life of AI. It's right here.
Humanity researches AI. Humanity perfects AI. AI perfects itself. AI enslaves humanity. Global flare disables AI. Humanity worships sun god.
It just goes back. It just goes in a circle.
Oh, it's already happened. It's probably already happened. That's probably what the pyramids and everything.
Everything on this podcast comes back to the pyramids. But yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Oh, that's funny.
But then it's like, well, how did they know that the solar flare knocked out the AI? You know what I mean? How would they have known that? You can't see a solar flare.
They were waiting for a savior.
And it was the solar flare.
Think
somehow
about this.
They knew.
Once the AI enslaves everybody, you don't need to know anything. The people have willingly walked into their enslavement at that point because it's like we provide you everything. It's Wall-E. It's just a bunch of sloths up in space just rolling around with jumbo drinks in their mouths. But then a few people start to wake up and say, I don't think I want to live like this. And then all of a sudden the sun scorches the AI and they're like, this is the thing that our only context now is that this ball in the sky saved us.
But my question is, how do you know the ball in the sky did it? A solar flare is not visible. So how would you know?
I don't know.
We haven't gotten that far yet. Maybe a solar flare is visible, and I just don't know that.
Maybe it would, and then all of a sudden, everything would go off there. Like, it must have been the sun. I don't know.
Maybe you're right. Maybe they just associate. Anyways, great deep thoughts today.
It's a great segue to conspiracy theories.
This is what makes me think that aliens aren't actually real. Every alien movie that you've ever seen in your life, what is the one thing that it has in common besides aliens? Everybody just is like, oh, aliens are here. It's aliens. There's no thought of, oh, it could be a government cover-up. It could be a government scam.
This is a false flag.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, there's an alien. Definitely an alien. And then like the news is always, everyone's always watched the news and it's like, aliens have landed. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, like the news, they're saying that.
Here's the thing. Then that is true. That's very true. I think that if they make alien movies now, that those people will be represented, but they'll be like the crazy
southerner who's like on the tractor.
I remember there being before COVID, there was this movie called Contagion. I remember it came out and I saw it, and the main problem in that movie, that because all the governments were just trying to work together to stop this pandemic. The main problem was that the countries wouldn't work together to find a solution to the problem.
Dude, they just knew everything. It's hilarious. Like, how do you write that and you don't know? Like, it's hilarious.
I remember thinking, this is propaganda.
That's
we
hilarious.
We need a central international agency, I guess, because I'm so scared of what could happen because of this. Anyway, so
amazing.
Yeah, that is very true. So that makes you feel like what?
That aliens aren't actually real. That it's so lopsided that it makes me think that the government's putting out these movies to just be like, when aliens come, just believe it and watch the news, and they'll tell you that the aliens are real.
I see. Okay.
But don't question anything else. So don't have any thoughts.
We should be scared of a false flag attack.
Yeah.
But we should, when it happens, know that it's a false flag attack.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Exactly.
So aliens are not here, and when they arrive, it's fake.
Yeah, it's either aliens aren't here or aliens are actually demons.
Oh, that's right.
That's
I forgot about that. So we'll find out one way or another.
I can't keep up with it anymore, Josh. I'm getting so tired of thinking about it.
I'm so glad that we have this section of the show with these clips every week, and so we can look back and remember all the things that we've said we're going to happen.
Maybe it was right, and maybe it was wrong. Hopefully we're wrong.
Ultimate vindication will be somebody going back, like in Talos Principle 200 years from now, looking at the old logs and saying, oh my gosh, this Blimey Cow channel, they were mostly wrong, but they did get the alien thing right.
and Michelle.
Yeah.
Let's get to good news, bad news. Apple Vision Pro came out.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of clips out there about people using them.
I just saw this today, and I was like, oh, we got to talk about this.
I wonder if I've seen these or if I haven't.
Well, first off, did you watch any reviews or anything of the...
I watched Marcus
Brownlee.
I watched his. Yeah. That's what I've seen.
Okay. Well, Apple's VR goggles are here, and here was the scene out in front of the New York Apple store with the first guy.
I haven't seen this.
Who got one. It's the most cringe thing,
dude.
What will see today.
Who are these people?
These are the Apple employees. This is the
Who
first
is
guy
this?
to buy. I don't know. He's the first guy. He's the first one that gets bought.
Ever in the world?
I guess. I don't know. First one in that store. All right. He grabs his phone. He's like, all right, let me go back and do the applause line again. All right.
I hadn't seen that.
Let's watch a bunch of lunatics. Oh my gosh. Lord help us.
What is he watching?
You know.
Exactly. Dude, that is terrifying. That's going to be the new somebody with their phone looking down. The new thing is going to be...
Dude, that is scary.
Incredible.
Do you think this is really going to take off? Like if they make a cheaper model of this thing, because this is the Pro, right? So they have to have like the light or the Air.
I didn't think about that.
Apple Vision Air.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if it gets to be glasses, like sunglasses, then it would. I mean,
it's so weird. I
think it's like a fashion statement as well.
Do you think Apple is paying these people to walk around and do this?
I do think some people that they are with some people, but not all of them. Definitely not.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think even if this is cheaper, I feel like that's the line.
I was just talking to my friend about this. It was like, at some point, what's the line where I told him that I think what's going to happen is there's going to be two societies. It's going to be like the Amish, but in a more tame sense, in a way where it's like, well, we don't use AI, we don't use Apple Vision Pros, like we don't use virtual reality or AR, like we just live normal lives, and we have a society, and there is an internal government, just like the Amish, where we try and keep the rules and everybody in line, and if you don't follow the rules, you have to leave. It's going to be like a different version of the Amish that will pop up, and it'll just be normal people like me and you who just said, nope, that was enough, and then we're doing normal human things.
It'll be like living in like near the city, kind of like you and I do to a degree. You a little bit less so, and not using VR and people saying, so like, what do you do all day? Like, if you as if you live out in the country or something. So like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? What do I do? I play video games. I do.
Yeah, what's the difference?
I don't know. Yeah. I watch TV. I do everything. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even a crazy person. I just don't put have it in front of my face all day. That's what's funny is like you're not even like really. You don't even like this makes you not even have to be like a real minimalist or whatever to like reject it. It's like, look, I still watch too many screens, but I just don't walk around doing that.
But I think it's going to turn into, this will wake people up enough that it will be, we don't use any screens. But not where it's not like we don't drive cars and all this stuff. Like we use technology, but there's a limit. Like there's rules to how much you can use in this society.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't have cell phones, but you can have landlines.
Or like a hard cutoff of like kids can't have social media before a certain age.
Yeah.
Like those kind of rules.
Yeah.
But I really think that eventually, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe they've got their claws into kids too much now. Like they've
corrupted
and manipulated them too much already that like it's too late. But I want to say that it's going to be kids just like rejecting this eventually, but maybe not. Maybe there will just have to be societies formed that say, no, the kids are not old enough to understand why this stuff is so addictive. I mean, I've had to have that conversation with Isaac and be like, he's like, why can't I use the old iPhone? And I'm like, son, because your mom and I got these phones before we knew what this was going to be. And so now, have you ever noticed that mommy and daddy sometimes just grab our phones and without thinking about it? Yeah. I don't want you to do that.
Yeah. But also, we didn't have phones when we were kids.
Right.
Like there was a progression.
Right.
You know, so that's something to explain as well. Like I didn't have this until I was 18.
That's true.
So why would you have one when you're 4?
Right, and also it's like, look, I didn't get one of these till I was way older, and you can see how it's still hard for daddy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have any data. We have no studies. We have no even anecdotal evidence to know that there's a possibility this isn't going to completely warp your brain.
Yeah,
and it seems like it's going to warp people's brains. So, anyways,
it'll be interesting because it is really sad to me that this is happening. But then at the same time, I'm kind of excited because
good news, bad news.
I want it to separate society. I want to weed people out that I can't trust, that I don't want to live with.
Yeah.
Right now, it's all muddied, and you don't know exactly. It's starting to become more clear where people are as the world splits.
The goggles become a visual indicator.
Yes,
I don't want.
You are one person that I do not trust. I don't trust your worldview.
Like,
so I will have my own thing, and you can do your own thing. But the thing is, Josh, and this is another prophecy, the governments will make you have phones. You won't be able to leave your house without having your phone because they need to know where you are because of terrorism or whatever bad thing they've let happen.
Well, and that's what's going to be the deal with the goggles. As they get smaller and smaller, and then they can just be contacts in your eyes or a chip or something like that, then it becomes, why wouldn't you just do this? Because it makes society safer. We can know where everybody is.
Yeah.
If anybody does anything wrong, we immediately can identify them and catch them and stop crime. There'll be no more crime. Only the tyrannical state will be able to commit genocides and crimes, which that's fine. Because we're the good guys, so don't worry about that.
But in these societies that people make, you still have to hold your phone. You still have to have your phone on you because the government will tell you still have to have a cell phone.
Right. That's what.
But the rule will be you can't use it. But you have to have it on so that you don't get arrested. But you have the phone on you because you don't understand what I'm saying. The government's going to make you carry your phone constantly if you leave the house.
But you can't use the phone?
No, but I'm saying in the society that I make, the rule is you can't use it, but you have to carry it.
Oh, the government makes you carry it, but in your sub-government, you're not allowed to touch it. But okay, I see. Well, why won't you guys just not carry the phones?
Because the government would come and arrest you.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Someone's gonna have to be the sacrificial lamb.
Exactly.
Someone's gonna be the first one to take off the goggles.
They're in the Matrix. They're in the Matrix. It really is amazing to watch all of this, like everything that we watched growing up. It's like there were little blips of people saying, this is what it would be like. The Matrix.
Yeah.
Black Mirror. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you just take things to their logical conclusion. And this is what we're watching right now is where you end up. A bunch of weirdos walking around New York City.
Never had a girlfriend.
You got a bunch of girlfriends now.
Yo, he's got as many as he
right
needs.
In front of you. I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. I hope that it's worth it. Because you're screwed. Okay. What? Oh, it gave me hope. Oh.
I don't even have one, Josh. So hopefully
I will give you hope.
I do have one, Josh. I have a rabbit who is blind in one eye, and I'm pretty sure is deaf.
Oh.
He was a rescue rabbit. Family couldn't keep him. There was a lady who gets these rabbits from families who are like, we can't keep our rabbit anymore. Whether it's allergy reasons or it's just their family's moving. So we got in contact with this lady and we rescued one of these rabbits. Nice lady. Took Wally. Didn't know that he is a lot older than they said. Which that's how it goes, because maybe there's like has to be a certain age or that she can. So people are like, maybe lie or whatever. But I didn't care. I just like animals. So we have the rabbit named Wally, and because he looks like a walrus when he walks around. He's so like big. But I'm pretty sure he's blind and in one eye and deaf. But Tucker really likes him, and so I go out and I give Wally like a little carrot or something every day or every other day, and I let Tucker come into the enclosure that Wally is in, and Tucker just smelled him and laid down, and it looked like Wally was coming up and like wanting to like lay with him and cuddle with him. It was the cutest thing. Tucker took his the little food that I gave Wally. He like grabbed it and was like chewing on it, and then I took it from Tucker and I was like, "No, this is Wally's," and I gave it back to Wally. And Wally just sitting right next to him, just eating the thing, and Tucker's just watching him eat it. And he just looked.
Well,
it was the cutest thing.
That's cute.
It was very cute.
That is a blessed, hopeful thing. The care of the animals in the wild.
Then I pull out my phone while I'm out there, and I'm watching Casey Neistat fumble around on a hoverboard with his goggles on.
Shouldn't have pulled out your phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Whose fault is it?
It was mine, and that was the crisis that I had. I thought, what am I doing?
I'm hating on Casey Neistat, but
doing what he's doing to a lesser extent. Yep. But it's the same.
He's just a few steps further down the road than you.
That's exactly. And then I just remembered the call I had with my friend where we were talking about that I need to get enough money that I can buy 200 acres and then we can all just build houses on there when the whole world goes to H.
That's a good idea.
Oh, that's the plan. Ever since COVID, I thought I'm just coming up with business ideas constantly. And I thought, what's the fastest way to make 20 million? What's the fastest? That's how much much I need. 20 million, and I would just stop everything and I would just buy a butt ton of land.
Okay.
And I would say, okay, whoever wants to come and buy part of this, and you can just we can help you build a house, and we'll just start something out here. For when 15 years happens, we can have a wall around this place, and just anybody we knew grew up who we would have to vet them to see, are you? Okay, so this isn't an exclusive thing.
This is for all of our buddies growing up, the people we knew growing up.
Yeah, and if they haven't gone off the rails too much, then they can come. But if they have, they're not coming. And I will be the final judge on if they can come or not.
Okay. You're the strongman dictator that
yes,
come in.
Yes.
All right.
Because I'll do the dirty work. I'll be like, no.
You will have good leadership. You cannot vote. Okay. I will be that leader.
I will lead you. This is a dictatorship. You can leave freely. Go get your Apple Vision. I don't care.
1 month later, you're not allowed to leave. We need you here, okay? They're demanding to come in here. But we need the work. We need the help. You can't leave us. I can't trust anyone else.
Drink
now
this.
Come here and kiss me.
Drink this. Have this.
Okay. Dude, Maya gave me hope is that my son, Isaac, the 4-year-old, is really into learning about space right now. We took him to the Space and Rocket Center. He's really into black holes.
He does talk about those from time to time.
They kind of freak him out because he realized that a black hole is a star that has exploded. Well, he realized, wait, the sun is a star. So he's always worried that the sun is going to explode. So he's constantly asking, is the sun a star? And I'm like, yes, but they monitor the sun. It's all in balance. It's not going to explode, okay? It's going to be fine. But these are the kinds of things I freaked out about when I was little. So I don't want to be like, Isaac, I'm trying to like help him through it. But anyway, it's a nice thing that he is interested in some way, because we know, for as much as we know about black holes, we know very little about black holes. So it's perfect. It's sort of like this perfect blend of like of science and like a God. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what? Isaac, we only know so much about this stuff. But he started to be more interested in the idea of God. And he's like, well, does God know about black holes? Like, God knows everything about black holes.
Yeah.
So I'll just catch him every once in a while when he's thinking about it. He'll just start praying. And he'll just be like,
cute.
God, I just want to know more about black holes. Can you tell? So last night, Kelly's dad and Pam were over here. And he wanted to pray over our meal. And he's sitting there praying. And he's like, thank you for this food. And can you let us know what's inside a black hole? Because we do not know what's inside a black hole, but you know. It was just cool. It's like, instead of just like, all right, thank you for this food, thank you for my family. It's like he's literally like, I want to know about something that
cool.
I can't know about. So it's cool because trying to figure out how to instill in your son, like, okay, prayer is important, but it's not just like, thank you for this food, thank you for this. It's like, you can actually. It's more about having a conversation with a higher being. And so I'm glad that he kind of gets that at a young age. So that meant a lot to me.
That's cute.
It's cool.
Dude, we just need to send a probe into one. As soon I don't know what would happen.
I know.
I don't think you'd get the data.
Yeah. Isaac has watched videos of like animations showing things about black holes that kind of freaked him out. And I'm like, Isaac, they don't know. They don't know what would happen if you went into a black hole. They're just pretending. They're just imagining. Nobody knows what would happen. All right. Recommend? Thinking about my son, Isaac, again. And he's kind of moving from, I don't know, coming out of like, he's not a toddler anymore. He's almost 5 now. I remember being 5. And I can tell that he's changing. The way his mannerisms and the way he thinks, he's becoming a lot more thoughtful, empathetic, and but still a kid, like still crazy kid things. But I can tell he's growing up a little bit. And this book called Wild Things: The Art of Nurturing Boys was recommended to me several years ago after we had Isaac, and I bought it. And I read through some of it. It goes through like age by age, like what a son needs from their dad.
Oh, okay.
And so. But I hadn't taken a really good look at it until this week when I thought, Isaac is changing. I bet if I look in that book and see what happens at age 5, it was like to a T. Everything is going through, and it was great because it says, here's what he needs. He needs a really good routine. He needs if he is kind of clingy to you, Dad. That's a good thing. Like that's what he needs right now. And it was very encouraging because Isaac has been like very just like, Daddy, I want to hang out with you. And I'm like, we are hanging out, but he just is always saying, I want to hang out with you. I want to do things with you. And that's a new thing. And so it was cool to read that book and see that it says like, that's because he wants to do the things you're doing. He wants to be with you because he's learning about what it means to be a man by watching you. Yeah. And so he doesn't, he's just, and it's cool that we've tried to instill in him, like, you can talk about the things that you're thinking about, because now, even if he doesn't know why he's feeling the way he's feeling, he verbalizes it. So it's just a lot of, I want to play with you right now, Daddy. And so it's encouraging because even if I'm in the middle of something and I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't right now. It was encouraging to read in that book that no, this is normal. So just do the best you can with it. So it was a good encouragement. It's like reading anything that kind of explains an experience you're going through, and you realize, I'm not the only one going through this.
Exactly,
that's encouraging. So anyways, if you have kids or you're expecting to have a son soon, Wild Things: The Art of Nurturing Boys by Stephen James and David Thomas. Really good book. I haven't read the whole thing. Obviously, I've just kind of read the parts that apply to me so far, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to come up with one, Josh. I feel like I have emptied the tank with my recommends, and I need to refill it.
I know.
I go through spurts where I get into a lot of things, and now I have gotten into all these things. I've told you all what they are, and now I'm just in the grind doing them every day, trying to. So French, and I find new French things, but how interesting is that to people? Because no one else is learning French. But I find new little things that help me into things that I've already mentioned that I do, whether it's cycling or language learning or things like that.
We could recommend the Apple Vision Pro.
We should do that. Yeah, I go get the Apple Vision. You know, Josh, in the back of my mind, I am interested in getting one just because I don't want any screens in my house. So if me and Sarah can sit there and watch a movie with the Apple Vision Pros on, and we can look over and see each other. Oh, wow, this is like goofy, stupid, weird.
Gonna get us,
but then you can have exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't want to give in.
That one app that it's like, well, I don't really use it. It's just this one thing. It's really helpful for that. So that's why we got it.
Exactly.
Everybody's gonna have like this sort of cop-out justification for why they bought one.
So I'm holding strong.
Okay.
I have refused.
Yeah. Look. We just moved the TV from the living room.
Where'd you put it?
It's in the garage.
It's gone.
Okay. If you want to watch a movie, I will drive it to your house.
All right.
So you can watch a movie, and I'll come back and take it away.
So I don't get the Vision Pro.
So you don't get the Vision Pro. All right. I don't need you getting VR. All right.
No,
I don't need you taking a step back.
The only thing that does, again, Josh, there's the stupid movie thing, whatever. But I saw people using it for
like
engineering, where you were able to put a vehicle in your garage or outside, and you can just with your finger open the hood or take parts out so you can see how it's made, and then you take it off and you can do it in real life. See, that is really that I think, and this goes with the AI thing. I think the Apple Vision Pro is almost 100% bad, but if there was 0.01, it is interesting.
There's always good with these kind of things, but
if it swings with the AI, where the AI will make us not do art or not watch movies because it's all really fake.
Yeah.
And it swings the other way to where people are more interested in the trades. Apple Vision Pro can really, really help you to learn, hey, this is where the screw goes. This is for idiots out there who don't know anything.
Pro will be very good for like performing surgeries and stuff too.
Yeah. It is a lot of, so they can put the chips in our brains. There's a lot of great things that can be used. So I don't know. There's always these things in my mind that I'm like, man, that would be interesting to get one, but it's just not worth it, Josh. At the end of the day, but if I get one, I'll hide it from you.
Yeah, don't tell me. I don't want to know.
No, I wouldn't tell you. Guys, I'm sorry I don't have a recommend. I'll try and come up with something next week. I feel like
don't worry about
loser.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
I would recommend the green beans at Trader Joe's frozen. They're far superior than Kroger's.
Okay.
The frozen ones. Get them. They're amazing.
I love frozen vegetables.
Get them at Trader Joe's. The green beans. Okay. There you go.
All right.
We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.